What's up, nation? Today we're going to go over the 5 most important things that every beginner lifter should know. And believe it or not, a lot of seasoned lifters tend to forget these things too, so maybe a little refresher course is needed for everyone. But the main reason why I want to talk about these things is because as a beginner lifter trying to reach your goals, your training schedule can get super chaotic very fast, especially if you don't know where to start or how to establish a proper foundation. The problem is in that most beginners are usually very excited and eager to see quick results, and at the same time, they're constantly bombarded by fad articles and fitness magazines, and now, more than ever, fake natty YouTubers, which pretty much inevitably leads to unrealistic standards and goals. As a result, a lot of beginners become frustrated by the lack of their results and desperately try to turn the tables by experimenting with a new program or a new muscle building secret routine every single week, and finally they end up quitting fitness altogether just because it didn't have the right tools and knowledge to begin with. But before we get started, if you enjoy these tip videos, please show some love and smash that thumbs up button. Our goal of this video is 5,000 thumbs up, so let's make it happen. Alright, so the first thing every beginner should know is that they need to establish a foundation by focusing on compound movements. Now, I know as a beginner, when you step into the weight room for the first time, that there are just too many options to choose from, and it can become very overwhelming. Barbells, dumbbells, machines, bodyweight exercises, bands, cables, and the list goes on. But the weight room doesn't have to be intimidating, guys. As a beginner, you just need to focus on building a strong foundation. Grow your major muscle groups, strengthen your tendons and connective tissue, and increase your work capacity over time. Now, the best way to do all that is simple, and it's by utilizing compound movements in your routines. If you're unfamiliar with this term, compound movements are exercises that train more than one muscle group at the same time and are also known as multi-joint exercises. For example, an exercise like a triceps kickback will only isolate and work your triceps during a set. But an exercise like a barbell bench press will train the entire chest, triceps, and shoulders at the same time during a single set. So as you can already see, compound movements will build more overall strength and muscle faster than isolation exercises. They can also help prevent asymmetries and muscle imbalances as well. So, with all that in mind, you need a program that focuses on compound exercises and also ensures that you train all your major muscle groups twice a week if you want to maximize your gains. My recommendation for you is to simply eliminate all the guesswork and follow a 100% proven program like my 12-week push-pull legs, which is ideal for increasing your strength and muscle quickly and effectively. Now, having said that, you also need to understand that the number one prerequisite for muscle building is progressive overload, which is a fancy way of saying making progress in the weight room. And this can be done by either increasing the resistance, increasing sets or reps, or decreasing rest intervals between sets. But you will not be able to do any of these things if you do not stick to a program for at least 6 to 8 weeks. This is because if you start changing your program week to week, you're always doing something new and your body has no time to adapt and grow. Therefore, it's smart to generally follow a program until you stop making progress with it, and that could be like 3 months, 4 months, or even up to a year. The second thing every beginner should know is that proper form and full range of motion are vital for growth. Now, if you've been subscribed to my channel for at least 4 months, you know I've been implementing my new technique called Cheat and Recover into my training. And what Cheat and Recover is using a bit of momentum or a spotter during the concentric phase of an exercise to place a greater overload on the eccentric phase for 8 repetitions, and then dropping the weight and performing 8 additional clean reps. Of course, in order to get through the cheat portion of the set, we are compromising proper form to a degree, and to be honest, beginners shouldn't be training with Cheat and Recover because it places the body under a high amount of stress your beginner body may not be ready for yet. But the problem is that most beginners try to mimic me or anybody who's doing something similar in the gym and think they can get away with it. Then, after a few weeks, they either get injured trying to lift weights they clearly can't, or they see no progress at all and they end up switching to another bound to fail technique, or they just quit. Listen guys, when you're a beginner, you do not need advanced weightlifting techniques yet. Cheat and recover, drop sets, supersets, and stuff like that are all advanced bodybuilding tools, and they're used by advanced lifters to burst through plateaus. But when a beginner tries these techniques, their bodies will not be able to handle them just yet, which either leads to an injury or much slower progress. What you need to do as a beginner is stick to the basics, and this means applying proper form and full range of motion to every single exercise. This will allow you to establish a solid foundation, build your mind-muscle connection, and more importantly, it will ensure that you do not get injured. Remember, whatever range of motion you're not training in, you'll be weak in. So master proper form first, and then we can talk about more advanced techniques that will take your physique to the next level. The third thing every beginner should know, honestly it should have been number one, is do not underestimate rest days. This is because most people think that they're growing when they're in the gym lifting weights, but the fact is that your body is only growing when it's repairing itself on rest days. Remember the anabolic window video, guys? Muscle growth occurs in the next 24 to 48 hours after training. And I think this is also a good time for me to reiterate how important eating is on rest days as well. So many people do not eat well on rest days because they think they only need to follow their macros properly on workout days for muscle growth. Well, guys, that just isn't true. Always get those calories in. Also, as a beginner, your body may not be able to recover from continuous abuse, which means you really shouldn't work out every single day. Sometimes less is more. Try to rest at least 1 to 3 times per week, and don't feel bad if you skip a gym day because it's probably going to do more good than harm. Now, an advanced lifter like me doesn't really get too sore, which means I recover relatively fast, and I can train a muscle group 2 or even up to 3 times a week if I wanted to, and I can probably get away with only 1 rest day each week, but beginners can't, and you should always try to remember that. If you're feeling beaten and sore, it's not because you suck, it's because you are a beginner. It is normal. Guys, I go to the gym every day, some days just to film videos for you, and you know what? I keep seeing the same beginner faces day in and day out, and I keep wondering, when do these guys rest? And that's probably the number one reason why they make 0 gains. So make sure you don't fall victim to this mistake. Number 4 is that nutrition is just as important as training, if not more. Now, okay, yes, as a beginner, it should be very easy to see gains because your body has never been trained before, but that doesn't mean you can eat whatever you want and get away with it. In fact, I believe if you're watching this video to optimize your first few years of training and maximize your results, then what you need to do immediately after this video is over is watch one of my most popular ones called Building Your Meal Plan. And I'll link to that down in the info section below. It will teach you everything you need to know about calculating calories and macros to achieve your goals. And yes, you do have to count them. Also, guys, it goes much deeper than just calories and macros. You have to consider vitamins and minerals as well, which is why junk food doesn't equal more gains during a bulking phase. Eating McDonald's every day might help you get enough calories and protein in, but it's not quality food. For natural athletes, eating junk will make you look like junk, period. And another thing, guys, as a beginner, you don't need a lot of supplements. A simple protein, multivitamin, creatine, BCAAs, or fish oil is a great place to start, but a lot of people go nuts and buy everything the dude at GNC tells them to. Guys, no amount of supplements can fix a trashy meal plan. So before you start spending loads of money on supplements, get that meal plan straight first. Use, but don't abuse supplements. That's how you should be thinking. They're meant to supplement your meal plan, but you can't depend on them to replace crappy eating habits. And the 5th and final tip is that building muscle and transforming your body takes time. To put it simply, you need to be patient, guys. As a natural beginner athlete, you can expect to put on about 20 to 25 pounds of muscle in your first year as long as you've optimized your training, eating, and resting. Now, I'll say that again, 20 to 25 pounds of muscle in your first year. But the problem is that most of us are very impatient, and if we don't get huge after 2 months of training, we think there's a problem. Gains take time, guys. It's plain and simple. There's a process involved when building muscle, and it's a consistent cycle of train, recover, and grow. Also, since you can only grow muscle in the 24 to 48 hour window after a training session, you can imagine it takes time to start seeing gains. But know that once you do, you're on the right path. Another thing is that as a beginner, you're probably going to be able to add muscle and lose fat at the same time, which means you're going to be a completely different person after the first year is over. And what I mean by this is, guys, you may be 150 pounds now, but in a year or so, you could be 160 pounds, having lost 10 pounds of fat and gained 20 pounds of muscle. So be patient, train hard, eat right, get plenty of rest, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me down in the comment section below, or even better, in the forums on my website, muscularstrength.com. It's natural to be confused when you're just starting out, guys. Shit, I've been training for 18 years and I still don't know everything there is to know about fitness. But if I've helped clear some of that confusion up for you guys, please be sure to show some love by clicking that thumbs up button and sharing this video with your friends. Train hard, and as always, more good stuff coming soon. See you guys.